This is Analectual, and welcome back to another anime review. In today's anime review, I will be reviewing a 90s show named Rurouni Kenshin. So Rurouni Kenshin basically takes place in kind of this Meiji War era, and the character Kenshin Himura is basically someone who fought in this war, and he killed a lot of people, and basically through events that happen before this main series begins, he doesn't want to kill anymore. He basically, instead of being a manslayer, he wants to become a wanderer who does not kill and who helps people. And so that's kind of where the story starts, as basically Kenshin Himura meets this girl named Kaoru. She thinks he's this manslayer named the Batosai, the manslayer, and he is, but she thinks he's not because of his appearance. But through certain events, he ends up coming to her rescue, and eventually stays with her at her dojo. Her dojo has no students, but so she wants him to help, create a sword that doesn't hurt people, a sword that protects, which is the sword's style that her family, practices. And so that's kind of where the story starts off, with Kenshin going through these, trials and adventures, and he has a reverse blade sword and vows to never kill again. And so it's an interesting show. It's pretty good, so I like the story. And so now we can go to the characters. There are a good amount of characters. I'm only going to cover a couple, but basically you got Kenshin Himura, and he has two sides. He's kind of like Vash the Stampede in a way. He can be very silly and goofy, and then, when it's time to get serious, he can be dead serious. And a lot of times he, hides his feelings. He, just keeps them inside and bottled up and never really talks about his past or much of anything like that. And he's a very powerful swordsman, and that's really Kenshin in a nutshell. So he's a very lovable character, and you'll grow to love him. So then next we have Kaoru, the girl swordswoman. She doesn't actually use a sword. She uses a kendo sword, a wooden sword basically. So her style is to protect, not to kill, which is why they don't actually use real solid steel swords. And she's kind of the main, she's kind of the tsundere character. She hits Kenshin and, is like, oh, I don't know if I love him or not, and all that. And she's, loud, annoying, obnoxious, and I don't really care about her, honestly, but she's really just annoying and whiny, and so maybe some people can like her. I don't. So that's Kaoru. And then you have a third character named Sanosuke Sagara. And what's interesting about his last name, his name is similar to another character's name that I'm going to be reviewing next in another show. So Sanosuke Sagara. He is basically the best friend character to Kenshin. Like, obviously not at the start. He actually starts by wanting to fight Kenshin, and through different things he ends up being friends with Kenshin and being around the dojo and stuff. And he basically after he fights Kenshin, he basically just uses his bare fists to fight, and he's kind of like his personality is, he's immature just like the rest. He can be serious, and he has a past as well. But he's a little goofy, but he can be sometimes annoying too. A lot of times they do turn him into a joke character a little bit. Probably not as much as, say a character from Kuwabara or anything like that. But and there's a lot of other characters, and one that in particular that is awesome. His name's Saito. I'm not gonna talk about him now, but he's cool, and just there's a good amount of characters. And some that I'm sure you'll find someone that you like in the show. So, that's the characters. Now, the art and animation. Because I believe the show was made in the 90s, I'm so professional that I didn't even check because I'm that lazy. Yep, that's right. Quality here, folks. But no, I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s. Probably late 90s, I believe. So the animation and art are a little wonky. Like, you know, probably like Dragon Ball Z, like standards and whatnot. It's not really that great, but, you know, it's not that bad either. You can get by it. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much, so that's where it kind of, like, you know, loses a couple points, but what can you do? I mean, it's older. But otherwise than that, it's a great series. So the music's pretty good. I mean, it serves its purpose, like I've said with, like, most soundtracks. Nothing super duper stands out to me, but it's a good soundtrack nonetheless, and it's fine. And my personal thoughts and feelings about the show is, I like Rurouni Kenshin. It is a nice little change of pace, you know. It does still have, like, you know, the samurai thing, but it's like in a different story and a different light, and I like it a lot. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I enjoyed it, and I've watched it a couple times now, actually. And yeah, now I have to before I go to the end here, I have to talk about there are 2 movies to Rurouni Kenshin. The first one is before the series starts in the anime. It's his past, and then the second one is his future after the series ends. And 2 big things about this. I recommend you watch them, but you in no way, shape, or form have to. But also, think about this. The anime and animation and voices are all different. And that actually made it hard for me to watch it. Because it wasn't done in the same style. It was vastly different, and the voices were different. It kind of felt like different people, honestly. So, but I'm like saying to watch it so you get Kenshin's story. It's for his story, not really for anything else, so you understand it completely. It basically gives it an all-around finish to, like, you understand it completely. And also, the movies will make you cry. I mean, they made me cry, I'll be really honest. I don't cry that much, and I haven't cried to that many anime, but man, that really got me. But yeah, so watch the movies if you want. I think they'll help give you a more roundabout way of understanding his story and a more complete story, but you don't necessarily have to. So yeah, so do I think Rurouni Kenshin is worth watching? Yes, I do. I think it is definitely worth watching. It has a little bit of romance, and it has a lot of action, and it has, you know, it has some slow parts too, and it's not perfect, and it has a good bit of problems, but overall, I think it's a decent action anime that people can get into and should give it a try. You know, you ain't got nothing to lose. I think it's like 95 episodes. Honestly, you don't have to watch all of the episodes. I think around episode, like the near end of episode 60s, really you could stop at that point because no big other arc happens. But I mean, if you like Kenshin and just want more of it, then you could watch it to episode 95. But yep, and so do I like Rurouni Kenshin? Yes, I do. It is, like I said previously, a good series. I mean, and you should give it a shot. I like it plenty. And yeah, so what do I give Rurouni Kenshin? Well, I gave Rurouni Kenshin a 5.6 out of 10. And like I said, I recommend you give it a shot. So, tell me what you all thought in the comments below. Like I said, if you liked the video, please remember to like the video. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. And if you really like my content and want more, please consider subscribing. And thank you all. That's been it for me. I've been Intellectual, so I will see you guys in the next video.